It wasn't the way they were supposed to come home. In grim dawn light, these two trucks took the remains of some 144 passengers to a morgue in St. Petersburg on Monday. There, they're being identified using DNA samples already given by family members. But the question of how they died is still far from answered. The airline on which they were flying says it's not the fault of its plane or its pilot.
There
are no such faults like engine failure or system failure. There are no such combination of system failure that could lead to a plane breaking up in the air. That's why the only possible explanation for a breakup of the aircraft in the air could be a sudden impact, some mechanical or physical impact.
But there was no explanation as to what that impact might have been. The airline says it's up to the official investigation to decide. And with flowers piling up outside St. Petersburg airport, the Kremlin still says it's too early to comment on the cause of the crash, though it's not ruling out terrorism or mechanical failure. But civil aviation sources are already saying the plane wasn't struck from outside and no distress call was made by the crew.
As Russians continue to mourn the 217 passengers and 7 crew on board the Metrojet plane, it's travel agencies like this one here in the Russian capital that are feeling the pinch as customers stay away from cheap flights and especially from travel to Egypt.
Tourism experts say it's a problem in the short term, and whether the trend continues will depend on the cause of the crash.
Still being translated along lines that have had phone calls over the weekend cancelling flights, still getting calls cancelling tours, but all this is likely to pick up again after shock has worn off, but this will depend on the verdict.
As more bodies are flown into St. Petersburg, Russian President Vladimir Putin has said everything must be done to create an objective picture of events. But with several competing narratives swirling around, that picture is getting harder, not easier to discern. Lorna Shattuck, CCTV, Moscow.